Alright, I think we're live now. Ooh, sorry guys, we had a bit of a tech fault there. Things tend to not work very well in hot weather. I was having some problems with the PC, the camera, my phone, everything else, but things seem to be working alright now. So, hello to everyone. Welcome to another live stream. For those who are just joining us in this particular series, like we normally do live streams for archery Q&As, for form checks, but this is more of a casual blogging, vlogging live stream sort of thing. And the focus for this series, the Road to 100K, is to, I guess, celebrate the milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers, which I haven't reached yet. Give it a couple of weeks, we'll get there. But for the time being, we are well on the way to becoming the silver plaque holders. So very excited to see that. So what we are doing, and what I'm doing, is going through and looking back at some of the early things I did. One is a bit of a fun retrospective and see how far we've gone, but also as a bit of advice for other people who might be interested in running a channel or already have YouTube channels and might be interested in what happens, all the highs and lows and trials and tribulations and so on. So, welcome to everybody in the chat. A bit of a delay there, but I see quite a few people have lined up already. It's always nice to interact with you guys. Not sure if you know this, but it's always nice to chat with people around. I know many of you are archers, of course, and speaking of archery, apart from slaughtering Swadians in Mountain Blade, getting footage, of course, I've dumped around 400 bucks into archery books. I've been collecting a lot of archery history books as of late, and I've had this sudden inspiration to branch out into archery history on the channel. There's no one really out there which actually covers archery history to a mass audience. I think the only remotely historical archery history channel is Red Dragon. He does a few spotlight videos and certain text, but no one does, I guess, what the archery equivalent of, say, a Matt Easton or a Metatron or Shadowversity. Like, all these people are very good at general history, or swords or castles or dragons, but there's nothing that's the equivalent of archery history. So, you know what? I've got a big platform for archery already. A lot of people really want to know about archery history. It's one of those things which, when you learn about in school or you read about in a book or watch a documentary, some people get very fixated on particular things like swords or dragons or castles, and some people really get into archery and bows and that sort of stuff. That's why a lot of people did archery. We started archery because we see someone shoot a longbow and we thought that'd be cool to do it ourselves. So that's actually what I'm interested in branching out into. What kind of really motivated that, apart from what I consider to be substandard videos on archery history from other channels, but also because I made the video on the Tong-A, the Korean overdraw device, and that's been massive. That's been a huge success. I mean, there are a few breakout videos which I've done, which have been surprisingly good. In the recent month or two, it's only been two videos which have been, or three, which have kind of broken that 30,000 view milestone. Because despite being a growing channel, you don't obviously get 100% of your subscribers watching stuff. One video was Lars Anderson, like, don't be like Lars Anderson. That was obviously going to attract a lot of attention. The second video, which drew a lot of attention, was why you don't unstring your bow. Or why you shouldn't leave your bow strung. That was surprisingly fun. A lot of people just checked it out to see what happened when you left the bow strung. I think that's a bit of curiosity. And the third one is the Tonga, and a lot of people were like drawn into that. So that's been a huge spike in views and interest. So that got me thinking about, well, obviously people want to find out more about history, and I am in a good position to present that. Uniquely too. There are very few archery presenters and channels or platforms which have the audience and the accessibility that I have right now. Not even ATAN. ATAN's the Asiatic Traditional Archery group on there's a forum, there's a Facebook group, and they've got a huge interest, but it's very niche and people have to like kind of find a way to it. And we need more kind of I guess mediums or kind of bridges between current artists and historians versus the new viewer. Because a lot of people watching the channel aren't artists at all. They have no interest in archery, but they love history. They want to find out more about the traditional stuff. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I do have a background in history. I studied history in university, so it's part of my degree. So it's not like completely unknown to me to research and do proper citations and sourcing. And that's kind of what I want to branch out into at the moment. Doing history, and I can always make history videos, but I don't want to generalize and get facts wrong, and just do the things which people would generally do wrong in their videos, like not researching properly and so on. So that's what I want to do. That's why I've bought like hundreds of dollars of text and books and sources, and I've been finding online digital sources where I can. There's some books I can't find, or it costs like $500 to ship here, so now let's not do that. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do, is like basically get a lot of education on history and archery and make good content, the same content or the similar style which a lot of people like are drawn into, things like Matt Easton, who does sword fighting in HEMA, Metatron, for everything else. We need an archery personality, so I'm putting my foot out there. I'm going to play around with archery history as a topic because a lot of people are really interested in that. The other thing is fun, little teaser here. I just thought about it, but the idea of having like fantasy battles between like archer versus archer, like Japanese samurai versus English longbows, because people really love this sort of thing, and I don't want to play into the whole like niche about versus battles and make a big deal about it, but using it as a way to educate people, try to firstly debunk some of the myths around historical archers and what they're capable of, and then talking about the things like what they actually used, what they actually did, the context of which they were used, and so on. So that's what I want to do. But to do that, I want to make sure I know as much as I can before I start making these videos. I'm really excited to make new, fresh content, but I don't want to jump into it and look like a stupid idiot. That's really not my style. I want to make sure I know as much as possible before making content. That's the idea. Sheru, the thing I was saying before, Warbows is written by Mike Loads. That's being released in mid-February. You can find Mike Loads. Search up Warbows Mike Loads and it will come up. You can't get it yet, but it'll start shipping mid-February to March. That's the idea. I was going to get it off Amazon, but it wasn't me. I was going to buy 2 books. One was about Mongolian archery, I think. No, it was a concise history of the samurai. So I want to get that. That's been released in August, and Warbows is in February. So I thought I won't pre-order it. I'll just wait till it comes out, then I'll get it shipped to me. It was easier way. I've got tons of stuff coming already. Now, one of the suggestions which was presented to me was, well, why don't you do book reviews, unboxings and book reviews? So that's not a bad idea. Book reviews are very important, and if I buy a lot of books, people want to know, are these books worth it? So that's interesting. I might do that. I've got a few books already. I've already been reading through Arab archery, Saracen archery. I just received Indian archery by Pant. That's an interesting book there. I got the my free copy of Bow International shipped to me the other day. Yesterday actually. So I've got a free subscription to Bow International. People of my caliber tend to get invited to this sort of thing a lot. But I've been I'm about halfway through the way of archery. Whoops, sorry. Camera went off there. Let's try to reset that. This is my turn to a podcast. At this rate, sorry guys, you can see the back of my shirt there. Let's reactivate that. That's cool. Maybe not. Let's put the tech difficulty thing up for a moment there, and we'll try and fix this up as soon as I can. Actually, no, we'll flip it over. I'll explain what I'm doing while I'm fixing this camera, because I'm not going to use the camera too much. Yeah, I was saying before that I was halfway. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, like I said, things kind of break down. It's not really that hot here, northern, in case you're wondering. It's about, what, 28 degrees or something, or 30-ish degrees. It's cooled down a lot in the afternoon. I was saying before that I'm halfway through The Way of Archery. One of the great things with this book is that the authors, Justin Ma and GTN, they've been more active in promoting Chinese archery. They've started an archery channel on YouTube, and small channels have a hard time getting the message out. So I'm trying to do the best I can to be that sounding board to reflect or kind of amplify the signal a bit more, so that way more people know about sort of stuff there. Do check out the Way of Archery book. So I'm halfway through that. Oh, the Korean book, yeah, I still have. It's not mine, but I still have that. I actually have a Korean text somewhere around here, which I've definitely got to read. I kind of borrowed it, and I'm not sure where it is now. It's close cleaning up before. But like I said, I want to get as much as I can to educate myself. So the ideal book review is there. But on that note about book reviews, I've actually reviewed other things. Obviously, I've reviewed bows and archery accessories. But the other thing which I used to review is clothing and merchandise. And this is where I've come full circle here. So some of you have been around since the very early days of my channel, might remember that I used to do a lot of product reviews for clothing and other accessories. Whereas others who have joined more recently might not realize that I do merchandise reviews. So if you check out my channel page, which I don't normally see myself. I don't normally see this page. I do other things behind the scenes, but this is what you normally see. So a while ago, I reorganized all my archery, all my videos into playlists. It's easier to find. So I've got the archery playlist, the equipment playlist. I recently made a whole bow review playlist, because I had like 5 to begin with. Now it's like 20 or something, so it made more sense to do this. The pop shots things. I've got the whole archery playlist. By the way, I've got some stuff coming out for archery annoyances. But I've kept this in here, the merchandise reviews. I actually do have a list of merchandise reviews, and this was actually one of my very, very early. Actually, let's go with this one. This is not a review, so let's remove that. That's better. So when I started making that's not a review. There we go. That's better. When I started making YouTube videos, my very first video is in fact this video here, the Assassin's Creed 2 UB Workshop Desmond hoodie. That was my actual first video on YouTube. Like, it predates, wow, gee, that resolution, what is that? That's a weird 480 resolution. This is what, 2011. So when people ask me, when did I start doing archery? When did I start doing YouTube? It's 2011. Now, when did I start making archery videos? It would be a bit later on, 2012 and 2013. So I didn't seriously make YouTube videos for archery. By the way, in my last live stream, I mentioned the Napoleon box. That's what I bought at the time. That's the Napoleon Collector's Edition, or the Emperor Edition. I bought that alongside my then partner's Napoleon makeup. So I made this video way long ago, and this is when Assassin's Creed 2 first came out. What, 2? I mean, now we're playing, freaking Odyssey, so we've come a long way from then. But that was where I started from. This is the NUSensei Origins backstory. So I didn't make my channel for archery. Archery was actually not quite late, but later on I started making archery videos on YouTube. Before then I was looking for archery videos. But I started by making reviews for stuff because I bought stuff, and this is during the phase where, this is 2011, okay, so YouTube was still fairly young. All right, it's been around for probably 5 years before that, but in terms of the culture of YouTube, being a YouTuber, being a vlogger, that was still very young, and a lot of my students wanted to find out about YouTube and what it took to become a YouTuber, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to start YouTube as a project to find out, well, what did it take to become a big YouTuber, to become successful in YouTube, and this is again with like 0 subscribers. So before this, I made all my videos on my personal Facebook page, and that had an audience of like 10. So I thought, well, let's go beyond that, because obviously most of my friends don't play Assassin's Creed. So let's buy stuff. I didn't buy things to review, but I bought it for myself, and I reviewed it. And this journey of reviewing official gaming merchandise or film merchandise led me down an interesting pathway. And it's just one of those what could have been or what if scenarios. So let's actually watch this video together. So in my last live stream, News First Bow, or my first bow, you've probably seen like unseen footage of my first bow and the unboxing and how partially cringeworthy that was. Obviously my first YouTube video, this has been, it's quite historic for me, at least at this point, at nearly 100,000 subscribers. Looking back at where it came from, let's watch some of this together. It's a 10-minute video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but let's cringe together. So the resolution's 480p. Man, I didn't know how to do the resolutions. This was with Windows Movie Maker, I believe. So going back a long way here. Man, that resolution. Oh, whoa.
Hey guys, it's been quite a while since I last made one of these unboxing videos, and I actually don't really like making videos that involve me opening a box up.
I still don't.
I like getting stuff, of course, but
I still do.
when it comes to actually opening it, I like to do it by myself first, rather than you're watching me use one of these little Swiss Army knives to carve a box open.
Bit of trivia there, I guess. I believe I still have that. That's the exact same Swiss Army knife, so things don't change that much. So a bit of background information. So people are, I still use this room to film. This is my bedroom, of course. I point the camera different ways, but back then my desk was in the middle of the room, and I had a camera on a tripod, very much the one I'm using over there. And this is before I had a tripod. This is a mini tripod, the desktop ones. And I've cleaned up a lot of things ever since, and moved things around, but a few things here which you might still recognize. So I've got a lot of my university textbooks in the background over there. One of the things, I believe that's a World War II book over there. That's Artemis Fowl, back when I started literature. You still see this in my background. We shuffle a few things around here. The certificates in the background, you'll see a Monash University degree. That's my Bachelor of Arts, which is my history degree, and my English literature degree. I have a second bachelor degree on the other side of the room in a better frame. That's my education degree. That's my VC certificate over here, and on the right side there's more along here, but this is the Lions Club Youth of the Year. So a bit of my pedigree in the background, and also I think that's a P51 Mustang model, and that's Majin Buu. I don't know. So that's Mr. Buu from Dragon Ball. So that's the background stuff there. Was I always NUSensei? Yes. I made the channel specifically with that name. I have never renamed the channel, so I was always NUSensei. I've never appeared otherwise. And by the way, I haven't got any collaboration plans. I'm open, by the way. I sent a message to the Push Archery to see the interest in getting me on, but we'll see what happens here.
But if you'd rather see me do that, then just let me know. Second change, of course, is you can see me now rather than just my hands talking, and hopefully that'll make things a bit more interesting.
Which it doesn't.
What I have for you today is something which I probably should have filmed myself unboxing, but I already kind of ruined the surprise. I received a package from Ubisoft recently. And,
which I bought, by the way. I didn't receive that.
The game that everyone's talking about is Assassin's Creed Revelations. I ordered a bunch of merchandise quite a while ago, and I actually want to say a few things about merchandise first before we go on with my package.
Let's not do that. So one of the things I learned very quickly in my career, this is like a 5-minute rant on like Napoleon collectors. I still have that, by the way. It's a nice collectible. So this is like a 2-minute rant. Okay, no one. So one of the things that I found interesting was that when I first started making videos, like it was like all vloggers, you kind of go on a tangent, you tell a story, anecdote, and then you go through the main story. I got very tired of that. Like a lot of people who watch the channel now credit me for basically having the no BS approach. Basically, you get straight to the point. And this is back early in my career when I didn't get straight to the point. I was sidetracking. I've been a lot more refined since then. Let's put it that way. A lot more, much more streamlined process. So that's a bit very early starting points. The VCE is the Victorian Certificate of Education. It's basically a high school certificate. All right, let's keep on going.
The detail is minimalistic, smash produce, so it's not going to.
Blah blah blah.
It comes with as a diary as well.
Oh, this is a really cool collector's edition.
Hey, that's better. Okay, so you can buy stuff.
But you might notice it's nothing to do with Assassin's Creed 2. All right, so I'll just flexing, showing off my collector's editions. But to the main point.
In terms of actual merchandise where you buy from a store, some of these you can get easily from shops, but some of these things you will only get from the official website. So I'm going to show you some of these items I got. Now, first two things I got were these novels from Oliver Bowden. These are the Assassin's Creed novels.
I haven't read these.
One's called Brotherhood, and obviously, one's based on Assassin's Creed 2, one's based on Brotherhood, which is a sequel. Now, unlike I've actually read these yet. I've read some reviews about these, and these are quite good from what I've heard, and they're nice and long too, so this is great bits.
Oh, by the way, every Assassin's Creed game has a novelization, but I stopped buying the books.
What's different from what I've heard is, as you know from the Assassin's Creed series, the main character, the player character, Desmond Miles, is based in the future, and he's reliving his past through the Animus. These stories have nothing to do with Desmond, but instead it talks mainly about, in fact, exclusively about Ezio Auditore's adventures. So that's something that you might pick up from your bookstore, but I ordered a bunch of stuff, and I thought might as well pick it up now. What was more interesting, which you can't really get anywhere else, was, well, firstly we'll go through this. This is the Assassin's Creed Encyclopedia. The ACE stands for Assassin's Creed Encyclopedia, duh. And what's interesting, it comes in
sassy NUSensei.
This is what I mean by the experience of opening, a new package. It comes as a sterile, fail-safe, untouchable object. In fact, if you look at the back here, you can see the Abstergo logo as well as a warning. Fragile, handle with care. Now, obviously, it's not real, but just the appearance of it looks like something like a hard drive, and it looks really convincing. Now, if you look inside, and this is where you buy the encyclopedia. I'm actually surprised. It came with two separate things. I didn't realize this. The first thing is this rather plain-looking book. Now it has the Assassin logo. And one thing you notice with the stuff you get from Ubisoft for the Assassin's Creed merchandise is you see a lot of subtle logos. Like, obviously being an assassin, you're subtle. But the things like this will pop up, and I'll show you a few more of these later. So you get this, and by the way, that's the Abstergo logo at the back. So it's obviously made by, well, you can figure it out. And what this is a collection of pages, artwork, concept designs, and back information that you get from the Assassin's Creed series. So everything from the first game to the comics and the animated short film. And it's very interesting. Some of these things you can find via the in-game database, but these are fleshed out versions as well as some alternative designs. So you can see, for example, these are some armor designs and I think dye colors. Armor, that's right. So this is a pretty nice thing to have. Again, they have a lot of text. This is a pretty full-on encyclopedia. It contains a lot of the game and design information. And of course, you know that Assassin's Creed is based on real history, but the series is alternate history. So you see a lot of the way the universe portrays.
Yeah, we'll skip that part. So what else was there? There's the belt buckle, I think.
The leaves and the.
Which I never used. I still have it, but I haven't used this.
And like I said, it's a belt buckle.
And the hoodie, yes, which I still have. In fact, you'll see this in the background in most of my videos now. They still hang on the rack in the background.
Good. I've worn it for a couple of days and it feels nice and comfortable. It's kind of warm, which is pretty nice too. It's made from 100% polyester. Now, at first glance, it doesn't look too obviously
Yeah, so that's my first bit of merchandise. So we'll stop the watch video there, but you can see what I'm talking about. So that was the first video which I made on YouTube. That was the very first one. And again, a lot of things were new, you know, camera, editing, and so on. But that was what we started with. And that was, you know, it was, when you start off, you don't get many views, but you know that started generating quite a few views. I think 1,000 or so after a month or two, which is quite good for a zero, like, you know, subscriber channel. That was early on. I had, you know, some of my earlier subscribers still watch today, kind of like go, well, what happened to those videos? Because if you go through that playlist again, there's a lot of stuff here. So I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan at that time. And back then, there were no thumbnails. Okay, so I used to automatically generate thumbnails. I think I started making thumbnails from the Ghost Recon jacket. Before that, I didn't use any thumbnails. So this is like I went through a big retrospective or retroactive process where everything I made from like 2014 or 13. Before that, I had to go back and basically make thumbnails, and now it looks really clean. And this is again what could have been. You know, I could have kept on doing this. So we did Assassin's Creed 3, we did a hoodie comparison, and this is at the time. This is the peak. These videos, especially, we'll talk about the comparisons. Oi, I still have that photo. So like I used to like collect these. So that's the Desmond hoodie. And we mentioned the Connor hoodie. That was it. So this was during the peak of Assassin's Creed mania. So Assassin's Creed 2, the trilogy finished, and Assassin's Creed 3 had come out. So the hoodies were super popular. I should have worn one, but still Walmart at the moment. So these hoodies, hey, how's that for a bit of a drawback? It's funny, like this is the only bow I had back then, so I wouldn't use this today. I'll probably use one of the other bows. But that was kind of like the background for that one. So this sort of thing was immensely popular at the time. Because, you know, again, at this time, the Assassin's Creed hoodies were like the super popular ones because you had the big hood, which by the way is actually really impractical. All the designs of big hoods, people hate it. It just didn't work. So there's a reason why you don't have big hoods. But you know, people were crazy about the Ezio look or the Connor look, and yeah, people wanted to get the cosplay. They wanted to cosplay as this or buy one and have something they can wear around. And UB Workshop produced their own in-house version of it. There are very famous or very well-known alternate versions. For example, Volante Design, which we'll see a bit later, as well as other cheap Chinese-made versions. But people were crazy about the hoodies. That's why I made these videos. Because again, this is very early in my YouTube career. I was trying to ride bandwagons, trying to get on trending topics before trending topics were a thing. That's what you did, right? So you would play a game and you do a let's play, for example, or you would do a review, or you would do a first impressions, or in this case, I would buy merchandise and review it. Because the idea was always forward thinking, that I would buy something and then I would review it so people can be better informed on what they're getting. And this is back when I bought things. These days, things are a little different. But obviously, it's a very valuable experience for me. If I buy things and I thought they were really good, I'd also recommend other people. So it's a good way to promote it for free, for the company at least, not for me. I bought it. If I didn't like it, then I'll probably warn people about it. And that will continue for a while. I eventually bought the Ghost Recon one. So there was a crossover jacket. This is for Ghost Recon. What's the name of the game? It was Ghost Recon. It was online Ghost Recon. But I can't remember which one it was. It was from the Ghost Recon Online, your GRO, right? So I bought this, and this was massive. I'm not sure how many people have viewed it since, but compared to my other merchandise reviews, all these are pretty plain. I mean, how much is this at? Let's have a quick look here. Whoops. I'll multitask. So the dress shirt. Yeah, these were never that popular to begin with. Same with the Black Flag stuff, the messenger bag, which I still use. It's my current bag. I have a couple of these. So these were never hugely popular at the time. I mean, like, that was like pretty good for a channel with like 100 subscribers. I was pretty happy with the growth there, and a lot of my early videos were merchandise reviews because they were pretty easy to search for. I bought things which I liked, and then I would review them. But this one was huge breaker. You can see like between like the AC3 and Black Flag videos, I mean they were averaging about 5,000 or 3,000 to 5,000 each. Then you have this one, which is a full. Back then it was like 30,000. Since then it's been like maybe 5 to 10,000. But this is huge because again, there was a large gap between the releases on UB Workshop, and this was stuck. It's meant to combine both the Ghost Recon franchise as well as the Assassin's Creed franchise. I actually personally hated this jacket. It was quite expensive for it. It's like $100 or something. Really expensive. And I didn't really like. Yeah, it was quite. Yeah, it's expensive. It's actually two pieces. There's a vest, and there's the actual jacket itself. But the draw card of this jacket was the peaked hood, and at the time, as a gamer, this was super cool. Like I really dug this. I mean, I've worn it exactly once. I've still got it. It's in the background of my house, but I've worn it exactly once. It might make it come back at some point, but I never liked the jacket. But I bought it because it had the peak. There was no other jacket in the UB Workshop line that had the peak, and people loved the peak. And unfortunately, it sucked. The peak was terrible. It just didn't work. It was impractical. You couldn't see it from it. It was really annoying. But it was a popular video. So 40,000 views. What were the comments like, man? Yeah, the beat looks stupid. I fully agree with you. Yeah, the reviews are coming out. This is like really going back. This is about 2014. Yeah, this is going back quite a way now. Best reviews on YouTube. Oh, the foreshadowing of this. Wow. It's fun. That is pretty fun. And like this could have been my career. I could have collected a lot of merchandise because people make these videos, right? People make these videos and they get a lot of money from it sometimes, or opportunities, which we'll talk about a bit later. But a lot of people love collecting these things, and that's what I used to do. I used to collect these things, and I don't do it anymore, but I collected and made videos. And that was a huge breakout at the time. Got me a lot of subscribers. Again, this is back when I had like under 2,000 subscribers. So this is quite a moment here. And then, I mean, I started making thumbnails in about this video here, the Templar jacket. I mean, this is a very popular jacket. I still wear this today. It's a pretty big. Compared to what I normally make, that's pretty big. This is a very popular jacket. I still have it. It's very, very nice jacket. You can't really get it anymore. It's one of those collector's editions. The Assassin jacket, which I normally wear more casually, that's not as popular, but still a nice jacket. And we went to Mustard Brand. So I bought the Watch Dogs jacket because Watch Dogs was absolutely huge. So I bought this quite a while ago. Again, this is pretty good for what I mean, even today, I don't make many videos which exceed 20,000 views, even my size. So this was hugely popular. And Mustard Brand was there. The Arnold cut wasn't. These weren't huge. These were a lot of. This was absolutely wonderful. One of the most demanded items from Mustard Brand was the Edward coat. I still wear this. It's a nice waterproof heavy coat, which I still wear. What else is there? We have the World of Tanks jacket. It's a warm jacket, give you that. Some of the shirts which I wear on the regular shows I do now. That was a freebie. The Allegiance, Volante Design. They do some really good stuff as well. And the problem is that the shipping was way too much. It's like $100 shipping. It was really expensive to get these things. So even now I don't buy them because one, they're very well made, custom made. So if you want to splurge on like quality streetwear, then Volante Design is nearly unmatched. I don't splurge that much stuff I don't wear. So by this point I was getting a little tired of like collecting things and start slowing down. I bought some other things like the AC movie. This is when I was still trying to game the algorithm. So what was trending? The Assassin's Creed movie. So people obviously like Hidden Blades, and this is actually one of my most popular videos ever. I mean, the like ratio is very low, or the view to like ratio is quite low because it wasn't that popular. I still have this. I mean, all these I keep and collect, but people loved Hidden Blades because that was the thing for Assassin's Creed. And with only 150,000, I mean, that's pretty good there. I mean, that's a nice view ratio. Didn't get a lot of retention, unfortunately, but no, that's kind of like the end point. And then did a few more reviews. I started doing stuff for film jackets or F jackets. To the Arrow, which this is a crap company. I'll talk about this a bit later. Mustard brand. These were pretty crappy jackets, honestly, and these are almost negative reviews. I mean, I have this. I wear this on occasion for fun, but these were really bad jackets. This is the Chinese companies which would sell these en masse. It wasn't as advertised. It's a nice jacket itself, but yeah, it's kind of excessive. Didn't really like in the end. Pretty cool look there. I mean, I'll probably look better now with the the Mandarin Duck Phantom or something, but there we go. One of my favorite shirts here, the link shirt from Mustard brand. Actually, again, very low views because this was not a popular thing I was doing. And the last thing I did was the Zelda leather jacket. That was in 2017, so I haven't done it since. Obviously, if I make something now today, that might get a bit more attention. But at the time, you know, this was kind of what it was. I mean, I was a much smaller channel back then. Actually, no, it wasn't. This is after the big spike in views from the Olympic swing video. So I was trending at the time. But yeah, I haven't done a review since. So that's the quick overview of my merchandise reviews playlist. And as I said, this is what I started out very early on. So what stories do we have to share about this? This is what we're really here for. This isn't about the playlist and the videos as much, but the question is like, what happened? Why don't I make more of these videos? Especially now that I've got more of an audience and more things might be interesting. Why don't I make more of these videos? So here's the thing, all right. A lot of people ask what happened to all the UB Workshop things, and people want to know. Let me show you the problem. Right? I'm talking about UB Workshop. There are many stories here which I want to share. Because this is, like I said, this is where we really want to hit the meaty part. So after all these reviews, what happened? Why did I start making them? And what experiences I have which turned me off from making merchandise reviews? Give me a drink break first. So, what happened to the merchandise reviews? So, let's start from the beginning. So my first set of reviews was for UB Workshop for the Assassin's Creed franchise, and at this time I was trying to play the algorithm. I was trying to learn about how to trend, how to get on trending topics, and basically make it big. And this is what a lot of YouTubers do. People do it for fame, for not say for money, for the fame or anything else. How do I grow my channel? Well, make videos on popular topics, and Assassin's Creed was a popular topic. So I was trying to cover all the UB Workshop stuff, and nowadays we call these people influencers. This is a term which a lot of you are probably familiar with, but it's an actual industry term, influencers. And the point being is that if you make videos about a certain topic, like a game or a franchise or a movie or whatever, then you can influence what other people do. Hence, you're an influencer. Easy example: makeup channels. There are thousands of makeup channels, and the point is that if you have someone who can positively portray your product, then you're a positive influence, and companies will seek you out, because a bad review will sink your company. A good review will help boost your sales, and this is basically free marketing. All right, so the people are buying things out of their own pockets, and therefore they have a right to an opinion, to share their opinion. That's what I was doing. So before I wanted to get stuff, and I'm right, nowadays I get stuff from companies a lot of the time. So I get free samples of bows. I get accessories. Look at my bow reviews. Right, this is again before bow reviews, before book reviews. It was merchandise reviews, and this is before I was interested in becoming sponsored or getting free stuff. Now, so companies I was looking up how to kind of play that game on YouTube. And I realized at the time that UB Workshop or Ubisoft had a very small online footprint. UB Workshop at least. So Ubisoft obviously is a game developer. They're obviously a big hit. But UB Workshop was quite a young branch. And when you search up UB Workshop, you couldn't find UB Workshop. You would find my videos. And I thought, hang on, this is interesting, right? So I want to keep on. People who shop at UB Workshop would obviously search up stuff from UB Workshop. In fact, let's do it right now. If we go to YouTube, which obviously we're on, and we search up UB Workshop, let's see what happens here. So UB Workshop, hey, apparently I'm live right now. Who knew that? So UB Workshop. There we go. That's the truth here, right? So you search up UB Workshop, and this is like now, but at the time it was much more significant. So the UB Workshop Montreal page actually hasn't changed. They had this many subs like 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. So they don't promote their stuff online. So if you ever buy from UB Workshop and you want a review, it's all me. And this is way before. I mean, they did some ads and promos. I remember this video was around the time. I didn't watch that. But like all this was me. Now it's not me. But yeah, like, all the stuff that from UB Workshop was me. So I wanted to dominate this search result. This is before I understood all the metrics very well. But I knew that I wanted to dominate one search term. That was UB Workshop. And it's the same time I was doing Let's Plays on my channel. But that's what I did at the time. So, as with any smart company, they would seek out these influencers and try to get you on board. Okay, this is what happens now with companies. This happens with me. Okay, so as an archer, I have a very high profile online. So companies send their products to me to get some exposure, and not just a positive review, but exposure. So if you search for a Chinese product like Toe Point, or you search for Legend Archery products, you find my stuff. Okay, it's very important. They need people, and this is for any field of interest, that they get people to promote their product or endorse their product. Now, I don't get sponsorships, it's a bit different, but I get free samples. So I have some flexibility here. So this is where the merchandise reviews first exposed me to this market. So before that, it was all casual and fun. Now I have the chance to get some free items that I can review. Like that's kind of like my first milestone, apart from the subscriber milestones, but my first tangible milestone was getting offers from companies to get stuff. That was kind of when I first thought I'd made it, was when a company offered to send me stuff for free, because that's what a lot of YouTubers want. People want to get stuff for free online, and for anyone doing vlogs, like makeup vlogs or whatever, that's when you start getting free samples. That's when you feel like you've made it. So I got an email from UB Workshop, and I thought, yes, that's amazing. That I've earned that recognition. I didn't beg for it. I didn't ask for it. It was just sent to me offered saying, hey, I'm the marketing guy from UB Workshop. I've seen your videos. We want to work with you. And that was absolutely amazing at the time. So again, this is a very young, well, a younger me, not a very young me. It was like 5 years ago, and having the opportunity was incredible. If it worked, and this is where the what if branch goes in a strange direction. Okay, so UB Workshop effed up majorly, and this is what turned me off from working with big companies afterwards. I've learned this ever since. So basically I had a few things ordered and coming in, and the guy working for marketing said, look, cancel your order, we'll reimburse you, we'll send you some new stuff. I didn't cancel the order; it was already on the way, so don't worry about it. But he offered to reimburse, and he offered to send me more stuff for free. And at the time, what I really wanted was the Jacob coat. In fact, it's right here. So the Jacob coat you see here from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This is 3 years ago. This was when Syndicate was just coming out. This was the collector's edition. Now, Volante Design has a much better one, but this was a pretty good coat. I think Mustard Brand has one as well, which isn't as good, but I really wanted this coat. I still wear this when it's winter. Very nice coat, and it was collector's edition. It's only like a few thousand or something being made and sold, and I had number 4. I think mine's number 4, so it was a pretty rare item. Now, I went through an interesting phase with the marketing team. So, the guy from the marketing team said, "Look, David, we'll send it. We'll send it to you. All right, you didn't pay for it. If you bought it, cancel it. We'll send it to you." So I didn't order it. So I said, "Sure, I would love to get one of these." And you can see there's a bit of a problem. Okay, so remember, it's a collector's edition. It's gonna sell quickly. It's gonna sell really quickly. And he said, "No, don't buy it. We'll send it to you." So I didn't buy it. Months pass, right? A month passes, 2 months passes, and I want this jacket. I really want this jacket, and I am going, well, if I wait any longer, they might sell out of these collectors' jackets. So I contact the guy from UB Workshop, and his email doesn't exist anymore. Like, he just disappeared, and it's forwarded to somebody else. And I was looking through like LinkedIn because I really want to find out what's going on here, right? Because this is at the time my biggest break, not just for like the stuff I wanted, the merchandise, but also this could have been my YouTube break. This could have been what made me big on YouTube, was getting an official endorsement from UB Workshop, because they were already linking my videos on the official page. And that was completely fine. They loved my reviews. They were using my videos. I was getting some recognition, and I could have made this really big. And it dried up. So the guy who offered to network with me and send me stuff from UB Workshop, he left the company. So it was forwarded to somebody else, and this person didn't know about it. I tried to explain the situation, and basically he said that, "No, look, this is not the direction that the company wants to go with." So they obviously wanted to promote things otherwise. So UB Workshop chose not to network with influencers, at least for me at the time. It's a pretty small channel, so fair enough. But I felt kind of robbed, right? So I was offered this carrot from the previous marketing guy. He's left the company. I'm left dangling, going, "Where's my stuff?" And the new marketing team aren't interested. I went, "Okay, well, that kind of sucks then." So, well, fine. And I was kind of playing with other things. So, like, Mustard Brand offered something as well. I'll talk about it a bit later. But UB Workshop didn't offer me any stuff to promote. And at the same time, I'm following their Facebook page, and they said that, "Oh, the Jacob coat's being sold out very soon. There's only a few left to buy it right now." I went, "Well, screw it. I've got to buy it." So I went, forget the whole influencer thing. Forget the whole sponsorships. I'll buy it myself and I'll review it, because I wanted the jacket. So I bought it. I was sucked into the whole like, get it now. I bought it and I received it. I was really happy with it. It's cool. And then UB Workshop, a week later, put a discount on the jacket. And I actually complained to UB Workshop. I used as much weight as I could here, because I was really pissed off. Because it wasn't that much. It was like, I mean, for me, it would have saved like $80, which is pretty decent. Okay, so I told them, "Look, this is stupid." Okay, I expressed the situation. So firstly, I was looking for free in the first place. I was told by the previous marketing team that they would send me a free sample, and I went to the I went to the extent where I bought it myself. So I bought it myself, and I bought it because the Facebook page said they were selling out quickly. and then they put on a discount a week later. Now this is typical marketing. Okay, a lot of companies do this. They'll try to lull you into buying it sooner, and they'll drop the price later on. But I was having none of this. I told them firstly I should have had this to begin with. I didn't. I bought it when the marketing people on Facebook said buy it now. I bought it then, and they dropped the price 5 days later. And I said, hang on, that's anti-consumer. All right, if you're gonna offer a discount, like a 10% discount or whatever, you're gonna offer it right away. You can't say buy it now, running out, and then sell on discount. And I basically got store credit, so cool. That made up for it. That was pretty cool actually. I didn't expect to like kind of get something from it, but got store credit. Used it later on for other things, but that was what actually happened. So that was the turning point. Okay, so my relationship with UB Workshop as a major company broke down because of this this miscommunication or this loss of communication. I fell between the gaps. I could have been a major influencer for UB Workshop and Ubisoft to sell products. People kept on asking me, are you going to review this jacket? Are you going to review this shirt? Are you going to review this hoodie? And like, I didn't want to because I didn't like the hoodies. All right, and this is what I still do today for Bose. I don't buy things to review because I have no need for them. All right, the stuff I get, I use for videos. I give to the club, for example. I use for samples. But I don't buy things that I don't need to review them. That's not sustainable. If people give me things to review, that can work. But I don't buy things to review. I could, but I'd have like dozens of risers and bows which I wouldn't use. I'd be giving away, for example. So the problem with the UB Workshop side was that I didn't want to buy most of their products. I just wasn't interested in most of their things. So the fact that the company didn't want to work with me, and in fact they screwed me over by making me run around in circles and buying things myself, and then not giving me the samples that they promised me or whatever, that kind of really turned me off from being an influencer. And like I said, UB Workshop were already changing their operation, so changing the marketing strategy. And what we found out, and this is what people who are following me very early on discovered, it's like, why did you stop making it? There are still things, even though I didn't have a good relationship with the company as in terms of an influencer to a company, as a consumer, I was still very interested in their products. And what happens is this. So this was like 3 years ago. UB Workshop stopped shipping to Australia. Now this is recent, by the way. There's some stuff here now, right? So between 2014 to 2018, this page didn't exist. It was a 404. Now I'm curious. No, this isn't UB Workshop. This is the UB store. Okay, so there's no UB Workshop in Australia. So you can buy the games and DLCs, but you can't buy the merchandise, the collectibles. You can buy figurines from. Hey, that's pretty cool. Spiel Leonidas. Out of stock, yeah, whatever. So you can buy some figurines, but there was no UB Workshop for Australia and New Zealand. So you have the default UB store instead. So that, firstly, it was a 404. I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, you can't even view the page. I mean, now you can, but in 2018, anything before 2018 would automatically redirect you to the Australia New Zealand site. So it didn't ship to Australia, and it didn't let you view the page. I'm not sure if it works now, to be honest. And this is when the Division first came out, the first one. Now I'm curious to see if we can actually buy some of these things. I'm curious. Could this be a revival? I'm curious if can I actually ship this to Australia? If I buy this, let's check out this hoodie. What is this? I mean, this is expensive stuff. I wouldn't wear this today because this doesn't interest me. But if I'm curious, can I actually buy this? Because that's why I stopped buying these things. Because I couldn't view the page and it didn't ship to Australia. That's what. Well, I can't click on what I'm missing here. Though I didn't pick something, or has it picked up my IP address? Bang! There it is. Can't do it. And fair enough. Like there were things like shipping that get in the way. So even with a VPN, I wouldn't be shipped to Australia unless I use a forwarding company. So send to an address in America, forward to here. I could do that, but is it worth it? So that was the reason why I stopped doing reviews for UB Workshop. For those who were wondering, like the one person is wondering, is I basically couldn't get it anymore. All right. So again, I had less than positive relations with the company, and they changed the marketing. And this is actually a really bad idea in my opinion, because I'm sure there are people around the world who would love to get these items. You know, like these were very good jackets. These were collector's items. People wanted these items, but you couldn't get them anymore, and that's a bit of a shame, because I'm sure people in Europe, you know, in Australia, for example, would have loved these things, and they were completely taken away. Like I said, at the time, I couldn't actually get the items. I couldn't view the items. They wouldn't ship to Australia. So as I get UB Workshop were advertising so many things on the Facebook page for every Assassin's Creed game, the Division, for Ghost Recon, and people wanted to find out about these things. I would have loved these jackets years ago. Now I'm like, well, I don't want them anymore. And you know, in case you're wondering, well, why don't I do any more product reviews? And for UB Workshop, I can't get them anymore, and most of the world can't get them anymore. Only North America. I'm not North American, so I can't get them. So that's my my experience of working with UB Workshop in my early days as a merchandise reviewer. Let's quickly go through the other things that I've gone through. So that was for UB Workshop. I still love the gear that I bought. The jacket is still excellent. The bags I still use. They're very good. So like if I could still buy these and review them, I would. And believe me, like especially now on a much bigger channel, all right, the influence is much bigger. But man, that could have been. That's a what if situation. Other things which could have happened. Mustard Brand did also approach me. So if we go to Mustard Brand, same sort of things, right? Mustard Brand, it's mostly me. Okay, so the Mustard Brand's own online profile is quite small. The shop is quite good, but it's mostly me. The Watchdog stuff, the Zelda stuff. Not many views, so not many people search for this stuff online, unfortunately. But you know, it's there. And this is an opportunity. A lot of companies can branch out, reach out to influencers and say, if we send you this, we can promote you, you get a positive review, you get free stuff. Could have done this. Mustard Brand did. Again, Watch Dogs was a very popular game back then. Very popular. People love Aiden's jacket, and this is actually one of my favorite jackets. UB Workshop also made one. It was made from leather. It was like $1,000. I went, no, I'm not gonna do that. But this was something I would wear every day, and I do for work. So the kids loved it. I really liked it. Really good jacket. And again, the opportunity to market this to a bigger audience was there. Mustard Brand did in fact get in touch with me. All right, Mustard Brand did in fact get in touch with me. They did contact me saying we'll introduce you to our marketing team. This is you know, like who they are, and if you want to work with you, then you know, contact these people. And great. Unfortunately, that's basically where it started and ended. Like, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if I said anything or replied or anything, because normally, like, I don't ask for things. I would be offered things, and there wasn't anything out there to like kind of really get. So it kind of started and ended there. So we made the first contact, and that was it, which is kind of strange. So that was something which it could have been. Mustard Brand still make really good things, and like I said, I don't have a negative relationship with Mustard Brand, but I still buy their stuff, which interests me. So the Link shirt was good. The link jacket was nice. I don't wear it a lot, but it's a nice collector's. The print and back was really good. So that could have been another possibility. And you're right, Daniel, by the way. So gaming gear in clothing is always gonna be niche. So yeah, that's why like you have the chance to, if you can get a positive promotion, it possibly could. I mean, like I actually wear a lot of these merchandise in my videos. That's the opportunity, right? So if somebody is officially sponsored, let's say Volante Design, which make like custom-made jackets. If I wear the jacket every video and I promote it every video, that's huge marketing right there. Could be a possibility. I mean, I wear the Link shirt in nearly every video on like traditional archery, which is again an opportunity. This is a cross-market thing, and in fact, I have definitely sold one Link shirt. To Jeff Krug, who is the Knocking Point. I wore the Link hoodie. He liked it. He bought it for himself, and his son really laughed at him because Jeff doesn't know where it's from. He knows of the game, but doesn't know where it's from. But he likes the look of the shirt, so he himself bought the shirt and made a video wearing it. So it still works, like the idea of the influencer still works, especially when you cross the boundaries. Not every gaming gear or merchandise needs to have the big branding for the niche market. But if it looks good, then people still buy it. So that's one example. It's an anecdote. Not saying I'll sell like 100 of these, but the potential for influencers, for affiliate marketing, is there, it's still there. So Master Brand offered, we didn't follow up, so that didn't exist. They still make good stuff. I still buy them. What else was there? So let's go to back to my playlist, I guess. So we said before, UB Workshop, they changed their sales and marketing. I can't buy the stuff anymore, so no point. Master Brand, excellent clothing. I still buy it sometimes, but we didn't follow up. Well, Volante Design. Now, Volante Design is an excellent company. They were very new. They were very, very new when I started making videos. They do so many good things. Like this is like really good custom. They've changed the website too, but this is the stuff they make, right? And this is not just good for like gamers, because they don't have a license to make this stuff, but they do inspire things. So obviously, there's Assassin's Creed inspired things. There's Doctor Who inspired things. Obviously inspired here. Star Wars, Star Trek. So not official merchandise, but inspired merchandise, and it's actually very well made. I have two of their things. I have the one of the Star Wars inspired things, as well as the Falcon, which is an Assassin's Creed inspired jacket. This is super good, and they contacted me very early on in their production. This is again 4 years ago. And they offered me a voucher or something, which they didn't follow up on, which is a bit of a shame because I wanted to buy their stuff, but the shipping cost is too high. The cost to ship costs more than the jacket itself, unfortunately. So again, I could have been a face for Volante. I still recommend this company. They make so many good things, but unfortunately, I just don't. I don't. I want to buy this stuff, but this is like a $500 coat, and I have the money now, but I'm not sure if I would still wear it. That's the problem. So I might flex one day, and I might buy something like one more thing, but I have to justify the cost at some point. But this is amazing stuff. If you're in America, it's really easy. But I live in Australia. The shipping cost is a huge amount. Really good stuff here. What do they make now? Now I'm curious. Not sure where that's from. I don't recognize the franchises. That's obviously just the Assassin's Creed 3 inspiration. Man, they've really made some good stuff these days. I remember the old website. The Peregrine's very popular. Mine was the Falcon. They stopped making that, so I bought one of the last ones. And this is geeky stuff, which is still pretty neat. I wouldn't mind wearing this in the street, because it isn't standout nerdy. It's geeky enough, but not like hugely geeky, in my opinion. By the way, Volante, if you're watching this, I wouldn't mind reviewing some stuff. The Tracer jacket, this is nice stuff. But yeah, that was Volante. That could have been. And the last company which I did a lot of reviews for was F Jackets or Film Jackets. This unfortunately is one of those cheap Chinese companies. I will lay the smack on them right now. F Jacket, not Film Jackets, because Film Jackets is a different company. F Jacket. So this is again the dodgy Chinese companies, right? So the dodginess is like the Chinese company would basically copy the name of another company. So Film Jackets and F Jackets are different things. This is F Jackets. So they would basically copy the name of a different company and make unlicensed gear. Now, if I actually look at the website, I'm curious now what they're doing. F Jackets. What are they making? Are they still around? They are still around. It's just the right jacket. So a lot of people buy it. It's cheap. This stuff is really cheap. No, not really cheap, but cheap enough. Some of these things would be quite good, but some of these are like wish jackets. You can buy them like online really easily. And the appeal is that if you Google any of these things, you find them, right? You find whatever coat you see in a movie, they'll make a copy of it. Look like the white suit from The Great Gatsby, they'll make a copy of that. So it's not that unappealing. You know, I'm sure people would love to wear the exact jacket, as in like, you know, like this is what they make, right? Now, some of this looks really good. The problem is that what you see here isn't what you get, and this is anti-consumer. It's a rip-off. It looks really good. It looks too good to be true. Unfortunately, it is too good to be true, and that's what I found out with my reviews. The only thing I bought from them, I bought a vest. It was I don't know, a Poe Dameron vest. It's from not dating, but that doesn't matter. Was it Force Awakens? No, it's not there. Anyway, I bought this black vest. The only thing which I still wear is I still wear the Jurassic World vest every now and then, just for fun. The Hawkeye coat I should wear more often for videos, and especially when doing film reviews. But yeah, like the only thing I wear is this black leather vest, which the reason why I still wear them is because it works. It looks nothing like a Star Wars vest. It has the panels of a X-wing pilot vest, but it's black. It just has a shape. It doesn't look anything like a Star Wars vest. No one would know it's a Star Wars vest. So I think I reviewed it, but I never made the video. I just deleted it. It was just crap. No one cared about it. No point making this YouTube video for like two views or something. So they didn't make a point there. But the other things I got was that they were crap. It wasn't what they sold, and I made the reviews. And I made a point in the reviews of what they were. So the green arrow jacket. So if you look at the playlist again. So the arrow jacket, they call it the Stephen Amell hooded jacket. Dodgy name. They don't have the license to make this. It's basically a duplicate. This jacket. Let's get it open here. Let's close these things. Too many tabs here. So I bought this thinking, oh yeah, I could wear this for the channel. Unfortunately, it's not what was advertised. All right, and this is what they advertised: the green jacket. That they make a duplicate, so it's close. That's without the hood. With the hood, with the same sage. It's pretty dorky stuff. I mean, when I wore it at school, the kids recognized it from Arrow. The kids recognized it, but the problem is that it's brown, right? What they had on the thing was this. It was a green slim fit jacket. This is not a green slim fit jacket. Now, I'd a bit more weight to me at the time, but that's not a slim fit. That, I'm not sure if it says it here, but it's supposed to be a slim fit, but it's PU leather, so it's cheap artificial leather. That's fine. Price is, yeah, for a jacket, that's what you expect. So it's half price as well, really. That's wish.com bull crap right there. It's not worth that much. This is they're trying to lull you into buying for a lower price. But that's what you got. or that's what they offered, and you got this brown jacket. So already I'm like, hang on, this is dodgy as crap. The jacket was actually wasn't bad. It was a decent material, was decently stitched and decently made. Man, I was fat back then. This is what 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So yeah, it wasn't green. It's a green arrow jacket that wasn't green. So I was pretty pissed off at that. So that's the first fault was the jacket wasn't right. The second one was the Hawkeye jacket. So again, we quick look at this. And this is where I really got turned off by that. So the jacket was actually a nice jacket. It's nothing complex, but it wasn't being sold, right? So the jacket here again is a slim fit replica of the Hawkeye jacket from Age of Ultron. So it has this particular look. What you get is something completely different, and the review said this. So it's not the same thing. It's a Hawkeye theme, so you can still recognize it as a Hawkeye jacket if you're a fan of Marvel, but it's not what's being sold. It's false marketing, and I probably should have returned it. I still like the jacket, I didn't mind, but that is not what's being sold. So this is really dodgy stuff here. The third strike was this particular vest. I like the vest because it is that Ranger style vest. If you color code it right, it looks really nice. This is actually pretty decent as a vest, except the quality was crap. The inner lining of the pocket was bad. Let's see if we can still get it here. The inner lining ripped up, so that was pretty bad. The other thing was that the belt on the back. I realized this in hindsight. I still have footage of this. So the belt in the back here, same thing. It ripped up. So all the PU leather fell off. It disintegrated. So I think someone complained about this. Yeah, this is really poorly made. I would actually blacklist this company. It's a scam basically. You're buying all these really eye-catching items, and the prices are okay, but what you get is not what's being sold. I bought one item with the Star Wars vest, which wasn't a Star Wars vest, but it actually was what was advertised. This one was also advertised, but the quality was unacceptable, and the two other jackets were also not what was advertised. Now, to rub salt into the wounds, to rub the salt in the wounds, F Jackets also approached me with an offer to be an influencer, right? So this is where I keep coming back around. So like all these companies, UB Workshop offered to network with me, and it fell through because they downsized or reorganized the organization and stopped selling stuff. So that was gone. Mustard Brand offered, but we didn't follow up. Volante offered a voucher, which at the time I didn't accept or we didn't follow through. I think I replied, but it was never followed up with. So we've got 3 successful companies which didn't really work out with the online influencer role. And F Jackets, a scam company. The scam company is like at the time I liked their stuff. They sent me an email. They said, we want to send you a free item to begin our partnership. They sent me a Batman hoodie. It was pretty generic. Like it was like a typical fleece hoodie with a Batman logo. Nothing special about it. They wanted me to do a review. Went, okay, it's a black hoodie with a Batman logo. There's nothing special about it. You can buy this from any kids section in any department store. So it was so generic. It was like, fine, I'll do it. Give them my address, and they posted to me. I never got it. So they went to all this trouble to get me to review the stuff on F Jackets, and I never got it. This cheap ass Batman rip-off hoodie, which you can get anywhere, they didn't even send to me. Alright, so after all that, never heard from them again. What the hell? So that concludes my merchandise review experience. That's the retrospective. This is a strange direction for the channel to take, but I haven't made one. I mean, the last one I made was the Link leather jacket. I actually liked that. Was 2 years ago, so 1 year ago. That was a pretty good jacket, and these things have some marketing value, but I don't know about these days. If I make a video today, but with a particular item, would that be interesting? Would people actually watch this sort of stuff and be interested? That said, as you can see, my experience with merchandise reviews wasn't entirely a positive one. There was interesting opportunities there. There were some what ifs, some could have beens. Who knows? All right. If companies at the time were more serious about networking, getting more influence on board, maybe could have made something from that. If I was a bigger channel back then, maybe I would have done more merchandise reviews. Maybe I've done more gaming reviews. That'll be a future retrospective. That would be my Let's Plays and gaming experience. The channel's kind of gone a few directions since then, but now 4 years ago, I started, 6 years ago, I started by making merchandise videos. And I've done a few since, but that's dried up. I no longer do merchandise videos. But for those who are wondering about that playlist, there it is. Again, there are a handful of people who actually have been with the channel since the very beginning, since that very first video. Very fascinating to see that. But there we go. That's the story. A little long-winded, but that's the experience I had. So for those of us who are actually looking at making YouTube videos and trying to get free product, it doesn't work that way. You really have to invest in gear yourself first. And now looking at archery, like now I'm mostly an archery channel, which I don't necessarily want to be, but now that I'm mostly an archery channel, companies will hunt me down to get stuff in my hands because they know that they need this positive exposure. There are a lot of Chinese companies who have no marketing in the West are really hunting me down and going, we want to send you free bows. The things like Elong Outdoor, Toe Point has been particularly to the point of harassment, trying to get me to do stuff. They don't really share that story, but but I don't have a hugely positive relationship with Toe Point. Let's put it that way. Other companies have been a bit more relaxed. Mandarin Duck have been quite good. Companies, Nika or Elong, have not been good. We had a good relationship until they started using my stuff on eBay. For those who've been following or watching the social media or googling stuff, they used my image. They used screenshots. They didn't realize they weren't allowed to do this, but they used stuff from like Armin Hermer. They used my stuff, and they put it on the eBay page, and I took them down. I sent a complaint via eBay. I didn't know who they were because it wasn't like the official store. It was some generic name, as the Chinese stores do. I thought it might have been them because it coincided with my video release. So I was thinking about contacting Nika or Elong and saying, if this is your store, you might want to take down my image because I have the legal document filled out for a takedown, and I didn't ask them, so I wasn't sure. I didn't want to have this awkward email. So what, screw it. I'm assuming this is some no-name company, some generic Chinese seller. Copyright takedown on eBay. Took it down. Email like 5 minutes later from Elong saying, hey, this is our official store. Could you contact eBay and say that we want to restore everything? I went, no, no, I'm not doing that. I said, no. Like you have illegally used my image. You never asked for permission to use my image or my video or my likeness to advertise your product. You sent me stuff to promote, not promote, but to review, to test it, to test and to make a video. And that's what I did. Tested it, made a video, great, got free exposure. Didn't mind putting the links on, but I did not give them permission to use my image. And that's the danger of being the influencer. Sometimes people try to exploit you. Bit of a general thing for Chinese companies because they're really desperate to get a good name. Some companies do a good job. Chaser, the bow I use now, the Chaser Python, they were very good at sweetening the deal. So sending me a free, $1,000 riser in Australian dollars, basically, with my name laser engraved for free. Awesome. Like all the people who bought their bows early on got the same offer, like free laser engraving of their name. That was really sweet. So all the people who I sold it to basically bought it because of me, and they got the name engraved on it. Because the guy, he would he would share, like he would personally communicate with you and say, we want to make this work for you, and like this is something which companies like really should do, is be as honesty, not like behind the scenes shade under the table dealing, but actually trying to make it work for you. So Gal, who is the CEO and lead designer of Chaser, he's been working the Chaser platform for years, and he's been trying to sell it. He's been honest. He knows that Chinese companies have a hard time in the West. That's why he wanted to get me on board, to give me the bow and do it. Like, the companies don't give out $1,000 rises. Like all the stuff I've reviewed, I've got from companies are the beginner, entry level to mid range at best. All right, so I think the most expensive bow I reviewed would be the Southwest Stingray. I don't think I've reviewed a bow at that price range, because companies usually don't like giving out these expensive bows for free. Fivix, for example, got in touch with me. Fivix USA, it's a new branch. So Fivix is a Korean company, and the USA branch got in touch with me and entertained the idea of doing some riser reviews, because they've seen my stuff, they like it, they want me to do more reviews, but they didn't let me keep the stuff. And I went, okay, all right. Well, it's not unusual, because if it's a particularly expensive piece of equipment, you obviously can't keep everything. I imagine the same thing for like gun channels, like, you know, they review guns or they test guns. They don't often keep the gun. It's normally donated by a supporter or a viewer or a company to let them bash it up, and then they can review it. So they probably wanted the risers back. They couldn't let me keep the riser, so they were thinking about getting a review. Like I think the Fivix Titan is one of the latest ones, but the really good risers, they wanted to send they wanted me to send it back to them. And I went, yeah, okay, I don't mind. That's pretty normal. I've kept every riser, every bow I've reviewed, I've kept, and that's part of the parcel, right? If you want someone to review it for you as a free sample, you should let them keep the free sample. Now, if you're a multi-million-dollar company, sending one bow isn't a huge deal. You might not make that money back, right? But the point was that, well, you need to give them something to compensate for the trouble. And Fivix USA never got back to me. So I said, look, I don't mind if I have to send it back. And look, I don't want to keep it anyway. I've got too many risers. All right, I could give it away. The idea is, if I have too many things, I could give it away to people on the channel. That's something I could entertain in the future. But I still use my stuff I have. But, you know, if you don't want me to keep it because you have a small amount of stock and you need it back, that's acceptable. That's not an unreasonable demand. Again, most companies do let you keep the stuff because it's worth the trouble to get the exposure, to get the positive review, and you get a free bow. That's a pretty good deal for me. I don't do it for free bows. I don't need free bows. I've got like 30 bows. I don't need more bows. But, you know, people like Arm and Hammer get a lot of good press from horsebow manufacturers or Asiatic bow manufacturers. I get good stuff from recurve manufacturers. The whole point is that we're not free marketing, all right? So we might start off by reviewing our own gear, and I review a lot of other people's gear just to get some like volume up. But once that starts happening, then companies start hunting you down. Okay, so yeah, so the fact that a company wouldn't let me keep it didn't bother me, but never go back from that there. But the other thing you should be careful of in doing merchandise reviews is that you're not free marketing. You're free in that you don't charge a price for marketing a product. But at the same time, if for example, let's say Fivix did send me a sample of their newest riser, and then I send it back, what do I get exactly? Right? Because a company should market its own product. As a YouTuber, I'm an influencer. My job isn't to market the product for them. My job is to give my thoughts and honest opinion, because that's what people watch me for. I'm not sold. I don't accept payment for my work, because that's different. That's a legal barrier right there. I give a pretty straight to the point, no BS, honest review. So that's my what I do for my integrity in my channel is to review things. If a company gives you something to review, then takes it back, what am I left with? What was the whole point of me spending like my day or my week going through and making videos and doing a sample, doing a review, when you in fact like you get nothing from it? That is literally free marketing. If someone gives you a sample to review, and as a complimentary part of the arrangement, you keep the free sample, which makes sense actually. Sure, that's a pretty good deal. You review it, and for your trouble, you keep the option you review. Same thing with like makeup products or anything else. They give you a pack or give you a sample package, and you keep the stuff. You don't like give it back. Obviously, for makeup, you can't give it back. You use it. But with a bow, similar things kind of happens most of the time. You keep it because the company should be able to absorb that hit. So if you don't get any compensation or any sort of complimentary deal or something, then you're basically you're basically just working for free, and that's a really bad thing to do. And that's part of my experience. Like if people send me a jacket, you should keep the jacket. It's yours, all right? If you want to send it back, then that's shipping, it's hassle, and you're basically working for free. So that's part of my experience. Again, I learned this the harder way with the merchandise reviews. Moving on to the archery and the bow reviews, that experience has kind of built me up ever since. I've got a much more positive relationship with all the companies. To the point where, look, some companies say, look, we really, really want a positive review, and we can't pay you. But if there's problems, then talk to us. Before you make a negative review, let's have a chat first and see what's wrong and see if we can address it first. And that's a pretty good way to go about things. And I still go to other channels that review games or review guns, for example, and the company steps in and says, look, we recognize these issues and we'll fix them up. So it's an avenue in which people can learn and improve their products. And for a YouTuber or a growing YouTuber, it's definitely something that can happen. Like not many channels review bow equipment. The ones that do are normally shops or businesses who make it or sell it. So obviously there's some personal or some business profit from making review videos. The only other review videos are from like independent channels who make their own stuff, or either from myself or from Armin Hermer. So not many people review bows. Reason being is that we don't have a lot of bows. Armin runs a range, so he buys bows for the range and teaches people. And now I believe he gets sent stuff. I don't think he buys Smith stuff anymore, but he gets sent stuff from companies. And likewise, I'll get sent stuff too. So it's a roundabout story. But that's how it came about. So I started reviewing things like clothing and gaming merchandise first, and those deals didn't work out. And funny enough, as soon as I started turning to archery and became a big archery personality on YouTube, I started doing bow reviews. And the funny thing is, like, one of the first opportunities that I got from doing bow reviews was traditional archery. It was 3 Rivers. Let's get while we're here, let's actually have a quick look at my bow review playlist. So bow reviews, this is a fairly new playlist, but what's my first one? It was the same age. It was the same age. My very first bow review was the same age. How's that? Alright, so me as a modern shooter, Olympic Recurve, only Olympic Recurve. I never shot trad before that, apart from the bare bow stuff. But my very first bow review was the same age. That's because 3 Rivers Archery got in touch with me saying, we want to offer you something. Alright, they wanted to sponsor me for a video. And we had a few different options, and I said, well, you could send me Samick Sage. And this is back when the Samick Sage was like the most popular bow on the internet. And like I was in the anti-Sage kind of crowd because it was overrated. And here I am doing Sage reviews. That was the funny thing. So I ranted about it, I've made videos about it, and now I have the Sage, right? And this is actually one of the most popular videos ever.
Hey guys.
That's huge. 3 Rivers got a bloody good deal from this. Sorry. Because every video I use with Sage has the link in it. Hey, timestamps, I do this more often, right? But yeah, I've been I mean, they're not still the Sage anymore, funny enough. But how funny is that, right? This is like, not that long ago. It's only what, 3 years or 2 years, 2.5 years. But yeah, like they sent me a what $300 package, and they got a huge amount of marketing. And this is where, as a company, as a shop, or as a business, or as a manufacturer, this is the possibility. Okay, this is after years, but look at that. All right, that is what you need to get your product out there. This is why companies go for it. The amount of influence that you can get from a good video is huge. I mean, look at this, right? This is the number one search result for archery is the 10 beginner things. And what am I wearing? The ATA jacket. This magazine doesn't exist anymore. Now it's Archery Extra. They renamed it, but ATA, which is the original version magazine, no, I got in touch with them. I read some articles, but they basically sent me a free shirt. And this is free marketing. Well, it's about free. There we go. And look, 500,000 views later, that's free marketing. All right, that was completely unintentional. But whatever I hold, whatever I wear, people will want to find out what it is. That's the key. I didn't make this series. This is a very popular series. How to Buy Your First Bow. Hugely popular series. Now, the reason why I made this, actually, the second one's probably the better one, but this was super important because it was partly sponsored by Hunting Bow. Now, they didn't pay me for this, but what they did do, sorry, I should have changed the video there. Sorry, two things there. So, I said before that, backward step, sorry about that. So the Samyang Sage was huge. So this is 120,000 views for the Samyang Sage. Huge marketing for the Sage, of course, but even bigger marketing for Three Rivers because they gave me the bow, and they let me keep it, and that's free marketing. This is like, again, this is during the Sage Madness era. That's free, or not say free marketing, but for like $300, you get all this ongoing advertising. And every time I use a Sage, I would basically promote Three Rivers because they gave me the stuff there. That was my very, very first deal with an archery company, reviewing a product. And that's been huge. I mean, I haven't worked with them since, but this was a huge gamble for them. My very first review was the Samyang Sage. Every bow since has been different, but my very first bow review, ironically, coming from an Olympic style archer, was the Samyang Sage for Three Rivers. That was the very, very, very first bow review. And ever since then, huge stuff. But that was number one. And who would have thought? Like this is back in a time where I was like doing like win and win stuff, and I was never recognized by win and win. I mean, they liked my posts and social media stuff every now and then, but like Win and Win stole my stuff rather than like acknowledge me. Three Rivers went, we want to work with you. Well, let's review some stuff together, and they did, and that's really good. Now they're doing their own stuff more on the channel, but at the time, Three Rivers had a very small online profile. I had a much bigger one, and now it's even bigger, so that's huge. I've seen before that stuff like this, this shirt I was wearing, ATA. This is a very popular video. This is potentially free marketing. If I was sponsored by a company, I could wear their shirt and do a video. This is an old magazine, ATA. Now it's been renamed to Archery Extra. Could have been free marketing. I could buy the shirt, but why buy the shirt and be a free billboard, right? This didn't make any sense. That's why for this series, for the Buy Your First Bow, I actually held off on this because I didn't want to use a website for free. It's a little selfish, I guess. So I had a few different sites lined up for this, but I wasn't going to throw away a free opportunity. Any website I use to buy stuff from, such as the, if I buy from Lancaster Archery, for example, it's a very popular choice and go-to, fair enough, but it's free advertising. If I choose to use a particular platform, then I'm basically advertising a site for free. So when Hunting Bow, this website offered a sponsorship, it said, we want to send you a bow to review. I went, I've got a better idea. How about you give me this package and I will use your website to teach people how to buy a bow. and they offer a free code as well. So they offered a discount code, which is still valid, by the way. So you buy from Hunting Bow, you can use this code for Hunting Bow. But they were a fairly new Canadian online store, and this was a great opportunity. I'm not sure how much money they've made from me, but that was a chance. I got a free bow to use as a demonstration, as a demo bow, and since then that's been a pretty big series. That's pretty good. And the whole setup as well. But more importantly, of course, if you look at archery, I can't spell archery. How do I do archery? But imagine the opportunities, right? Where's the Olympic swing video? It's not trending anymore. Damn. Well, that's kind of rigged. Where's the Olympic? Damn it! It used to be like the #1 search result. It's not anymore. Olympian swing. Come on. All right. This is a huge example of the opportunities that can be afforded someone who chooses to mark at the right time. This went bloody viral, right? 3 million now. And what am I wearing? Lancaster Archery. I mean, they like the videos, and they know that they said in their Facebook post that the shirt looks good on me. But think about the opportunity, right? I'm wearing a Lancaster shirt. I bought the shirt myself because I like the shirt. I buy from Lancaster a lot. So I bought the shirt to support the company, but that's free marketing, right? For a $30 shirt that you send to someone that could go viral. Everyone's asking, "What's that bow? What's that shirt? Oh, you're from Lancaster. That's really cool. I live near Lancaster." I don't live near Lancaster. The point is that is free exposure. 3 million people are now exposed to Lancaster archery, right? Everything you wear, every piece of equipment, this thing. This is why branding is so important. This is why marketing is so important. It's why influencers have a big role. And this is my spiel here, but just think about this. All right? Archery is very niche. We know this. And even online, it's a very small niche. But the opportunity to promote and market is there. So while other industries like sports or makeup, or other things, workout videos, a lot of these companies, a lot of the presenters and YouTubers are affiliated with companies or sponsored because the exposure is absolutely huge. Archery is very niche. You won't get a lot of free marketing from people. It's why all the companies which have been approaching me are mostly Chinese companies. I haven't received an offer from a major company. Not Win and Win, not Hoyt, not anything else. But the opportunity is there. You could be any one of these companies which somehow freely appear on my videos. That sort of thing can work out really well. So something else, right? Like imagine at the moment one of the most popular videos is the Tong art. Like who would have thought? Well, where's the Tong art? I changed my viewer. The clicker. That's a Win and Win clicker. That could have been a market opportunity by Win and Win if they wanted to. The Tong art. So this is like nobody does videos on Tong arts, but it's not as a video on Korean archery. This is from Freddy Archery, right? The potential is that if Freddy Archery, who sells like the most well-known seller for Korean bows is Freddy Archery. I mean, they could have sent me a free Tong art, for example. If they watch this, and because they sell this as an item in their shop. This is broken, I can't use it. But if I wanted to test one, an opportunity exists for a company to say, we'll give you a Tong art. This is like $100 at most for a set of arrows and a bamboo tube. And this can massively promote. This is 30,000 people who possibly didn't know about the Tong art and about Korean archery and about the shop. So an example of this, just going further on, is what if one day I decide to shoot compound? All right, that will my channel would explode. Going trad was already interesting. Going horsebow was already interesting. But what if I was going to say I'm going to shoot compound, but I need a bow, and company decide, well, NUSensei is already big. He already has a huge recurve and trad following. What if we decide to shoot compound, and there's a huge compound market? So those are the opportunities. I'm not saying that. Please give me stuff. I'm not saying that. I don't need stuff and I can get stuff my own. But these were the lessons learned. And the whole point of this live stream, now that we're reaching the end of the live stream now, finally, is that like the lessons I learned on my channel initially was, I did a lot of different things. I did gaming videos, I did merchandise reviews for clothing and games, I did archery, of course. Bow reviews were quite late in my career, but that's the journey that I took. There were many opportunities which presented themselves. I mean, I could have been more aggressive or assertive and gone after companies and offer them, my services and say, look, I'm an influencer. I have the potential. I mean, at the time, 10,000 subs wasn't huge, but when you have a bigger profile than the actual shop, you have currency to work with. You said, look, I already review things. Could we arrange something? And if you have that leverage, then use it. It's an opportunity. It's good for you. It's nice and fulfilling. It works for the company. It can work well if you make it work. Unfortunately, not all deals work out well. Doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you have to sell yourself out. You can still. You don't have to get sponsorships and have affiliate marketing. But if you are doing, affiliate marketing, it's an opportunity. Like one of the strange things about my channel is that I'm not affiliated with the company. Basically, every equipment channel, every sport, the YouTubers basically have to sell out to somebody, because to make money from it, you need to promote something. You need to be affiliated, you need to be sponsored, otherwise you're not making money. I don't need the money, so I'm still holding out. But think how much money I could make. Again, look at the exposure. I could get a lot of stuff from this, which is why Topont wanted me on board. But that's a different story. But that's the story of my review experience. First starts from merchandise. It carried on to my experience of working with other companies. It taught me a lot about YouTube and what it could do. Early on, I was really trying to snipe things that people weren't doing. Things like UV Workshop reviews, things like Assassin's Creed reviews. There were trending topics, are also very niche. These days I don't really do as much reviews, and the reason is that I don't buy much stuff anymore. I can't get much stuff anymore. UB Workshop, thank you very much. Still open for reviews, by the way, but I need to access your stuff. But yeah, that's the story. And yeah, as Simon was saying in chat before, like if I shot Compound, like it'd be absolutely huge. Like I wouldn't have like many Compound, but I have like one Compound. So you wouldn't obviously have a lot of compounds, you just one at a time. And if I did a compound bow review, or if I shot a compound for the very first time, which I have already, by the way, spoiler alert, but if I had my own compound, that would break the channel, right? It would just be absolutely amazing to see me shoot compound, which I wouldn't say no to, by the way, but that's the whole thing. The opportunity is there. So that's my experience. Sorry for the ramble, by the way, but that's the whole point of these retrospectives. This is the unscripted, honest retrospective looks at what I did as a YouTuber starting out. I've been YouTube since 2011. That's technically 8 years, 7 and a bit years, I guess, but 8 years on YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't say I seriously did YouTube until 2013. When's my first archery video? I kept forgetting. There's a Thing Tab review. I love, by the way, how I can just like Google myself and search myself up there. My very first archery video was this video, 26 January 2013. I was right, yeah. So I was on YouTube since December 2011. My first archery video ever made was in 2013, January 2013. So I did a lot of things before archery. I had done archery by 2011, right? So I've been doing archery for about 8 years now. But I didn't make videos until 2013, so I didn't make it as a noob. I was actually relatively experienced, about 2 years or something at the time, but I had some experience with bow already. This wasn't completely new trying to teach people. This is what I knew at the time. But that's how I started. Was way before that was doing product reviews. This was before starting bow reviews. I did merchandise reviews. That's still there. It's a legacy. It's a reminder of what I used to be. And as a YouTuber, you don't always throw things away. You might want to delete old videos because they're embarrassing, they're cringy. But it's a nice reminder where you came from. Who knows? Maybe one day someone to buy like a gauntlet, or someone to buy a jacket like this, or a LARP sword. These are always popular. But like these are things which the opportunities are there. You know, for example, if someone decides to make a LARP bow, they could approach me. That's obviously the result of a lot of hard work of after many years, but that's how we go about things. No, Fazat, this isn't Q&A, this is a retrospective video. So yeah, those who are just joining in, we're basically finishing now, but looking back at where we started, or where I started, you know, we're about to reach 100,000 views, subscribers in a few weeks time. So this is kind of like looking back at what I used to do, and a lot of people don't know that I used to do these things. You know, it used to be just bow reviews, for example, and some of my viewers came for the War Thunder reviews. But I used to do Let's Plays. I used to do things like merchandise reviews, and some people came to my channel because of the merchandise reviews nearly 8 years ago. So it's been a very long journey. The merchandising stuff has always been interesting. So I used to try to snipe these things and try to make opportunities, some of which, you know, had moderate results, some of which never turned out. But that's a learning experience. You know, you don't normally see this behind the scenes stuff for YouTube. Anyway, I think we're done. We'll let it run for the last 10 minutes to see if there's anything else. Thanks, Simon. I'll keep that in mind. Any last questions, by the way? So I've been ignoring chat all this time, but any questions while I'm here? I've got a few people tagging me, but this wasn't an archery video. This is more of a casual video. But any questions? Gabrielle products? No, I've never heard of them actually. What are they? I've never heard of Gabrielle. Oh, the German company, is it? No, I definitely haven't come across Gabrielle. Yeah, probably because you don't normally see them outside of this place here. Okay. Nope, haven't. What other questions were there? Jonathan, how much improvement would I get from a 25-inch riser and IF limbs compared to what? If you're improving, did I miss something? Oh, so you're shooting a Samick Polaris and it's your bare bow. How much improvement would you get from a 25-inch riser? Depends on what you're looking for, right? So if you're shooting 18 meters 245, shooting bare bow, getting a better riser at 18 meters, you wouldn't see a massive jump. You wouldn't get like 300 overnight, because you have to tune it. You have to like get it right. But if 18 meters is a very good test. Are you using a sight? That's the thing. If you're using a sight, you'll see a huge jump in your score just from using a sight, even a bad one. If you're shooting bare bow, if you're using the same bare bow technique with the Polaris and the your ILF riser, then it'll be a marginal improvement. It wouldn't break you from 245 to 280. So it'll be if like at 18, it's mostly form. If your form and style doesn't change, then you shouldn't see a huge improvement. The equipment isn't what's bottlenecking you, especially at 18 meters. If you're shooting outdoor, it's different, but 18 meters is actually pretty equal. Yeah, so it'll be a huge change in how you shoot, how you feel you're shooting, because it's like going from an old like a classic motorcycle to a racing motorcycle. Let's put it that way. So it'll feel like you're using a high performance machine, even though it's a recurve riser. But like you're basically changing your bow entirely. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Fazar, if I buy 34-pound limbs, is there any chance that limb pounds will decrease? No, not really. Modern limbs don't decrease in poundage. You don't normally get fiberglass only limbs. Normally it's a fiberglass layer on top, and there's normally some kind of composite inside. So it's normally some kind of wood core or synthetic foam. It's unusual to shoot only fiberglass, but if you're getting between fiberglass only limbs versus carbon fiberglass laminate, the carbon fiberglass limbs are much better. They'll be much lighter. They'll be more high performing, more consistent. Fiberglass only isn't a very good choice. It works, but it's slower compared to carbon. Carbon's very light. Sport underwear reviews. Flagella Day. I have heard of Flagella Day. Remind me what it is. I'm gonna Google it. Flagella Day. Well, what do I know that from? Trad boats, of course. Well, I've been seeing some of the reviews from Armin Hermer. By the way, if somehow there's a trad company watching this, I would happily review Asiatic bows. I've done some for Chinese companies, but I haven't done a lot of reviews. But I do have a Mariner bow incoming. So I've got an Istvan Toth bow already. I've got a Mandarin duck bow, which I don't sell anymore. I've reviewed among the Nika Mong Yuan. And I've got a Mariner coming in. I bought a brand new Mariner. There's a handmade bows from China. One guy in China makes them. So all the Asiatic thumb draw shooters have been saying, oh, you definitely try a Mariner. Fine, I've got a Mariner. Brand new. Pay for that. So there you go. I've got a Mariner bow. Absolutely huge. But Flagella Day, I'll be interested. Look, Alibo, Flagella Day, any Asian bow company wants to send me stuff, I will happily shoot and review. I do shoot thumb draw. I should do more of it. Just to make a point that I do shoot thumb draw. But that's something I can do. If any Yumi manufacturer send me a Yumi bow, I'd love to do it too. You have a preference of clicks? Not really. I did like the win clicker. It's carbon. It clicks better. But yeah, I don't really have a preference for clickers as much. Thanks, Eli, by the way. Well, what does Gabrielle make? They make what did they say, plungers? What does Gabrielle make? Oh, yeah, wrist and buttons, yeah. The problem is that like these things are very hard to like review. Like I can't review like a plunger. I can't review a wrist because a wrist is a wrist. Some wrists are better than others, sure. Yeah, some are more adjustable, but it's hard to advertise a wrist. Yeah, how do you do that? You know. So I'm not sure if like Gabrielle will like if all the mega like buttons. If it's bite, even better, be interesting, right? So it's something you might sponsor someone for that, but it's hard to review, or advertise. That's tough. I wouldn't mind, you know, but it's kind of really hard to sell. I have like toe point stuff, which is like really cheap knockoffs, but it's hard stuff. Good question. How am I asleep? It's only like 1 a.m. Northern Light. Why aren't you asleep? Goodness. Oh, that said, I do have to eventually work on my goal of trying to recover my sleep deficit. That's one of my I'm on break at the moment from school holidays, and one of my goals was to reverse my sleep deficit. I have since then done many videos. I have started learning Mandarin and Cantonese. I started learning piano again. I've spent $400 on books, but I haven't actually recovered my sleep deficit, so I'm kind of failing there. Oh, no, sorry, Simon. Talk about my clicker. Yeah, I don't use a winnowing clicker. I probably will go back to it. I still have mine, which I bought a while ago. The reason why the winnowing clicker is just because it's a sharper click. The biter clicker that I have at the moment is a bit bendy and flexible, so it's a softer click. Some people like that. I like the sharper click, and the carbon clicker basically goes right away. So that's why I prefer the winnowing clicker. And not because it's better, but because it's kind of what I expect a clicker to do. Because some people can't hear the click on their clicker. Because it might be a soft vibration, might be a different shape. So I like the sharp click. I react to it much better. Whereas the softer click, I still react to it. I feel the click going off, but I might not hear it. Like I can feel it, which is a good thing. It's funny because I was watching a random archery video. Like someone posted a video on YouTube, and it had them using a clicker. And they were complaining that they couldn't hear the click, but when you watch the video, you can hear it. It goes click. It's right there. but he couldn't hear it. So for some reason, it didn't resonate with his like hearing or something. It might be a hearing problem, but some people react better to hearing or not. And my time, it's 1 a.m. for Zar. You know, I'm getting there. You know, I'm not sleepy, but I've been streaming nonstop for 2 hours straight. So in case you missed the last 108 minutes, it's been a 2-hour stream. Anyway, on that note, I reckon we're done. So thanks for joining me. I'll be doing a few more of these, hopefully shorter ones, but like all these are chapters in my YouTube career which might not interest a lot of people, but it's a unique experience. Many of you aren't YouTubers, I know that for a fact. Some of you are, which is great. I mean, good luck with your archery. I'm seeing more new channels popping up. I might do some shout outs from new channels at some point. But like these are growing pains, and this isn't here just to kind of flex and talk about, you know, all my subscribers and all my views and money and all that, but it's more that, look, at some point in your career you come across these things. If you're a YouTuber, one day you might make this point, this far. But you know, it's, for me, I've learned a lot of strange things off YouTube. Not all things are positive, but all things are learning experiences. And if you know, regardless of what you do, like that's a good mindset. Is there are some things which for me I'm not proud of, which for me are quite embarrassing. I've learned things the hard way, but they're all learning experiences. And you know, everything you do, every mistake you make is a learning experience. It's a learning opportunity. And you know, that's what I've learned in my YouTube career. So no matter what you do, learn from it. Every mistake you make, own it, learn from it. And that is the conclusion for my stream. So thanks for joining me, for those who are in. Those who've come late, who've made it this far, well done. Bit of a rant there, but a lot of really good things I've learned from YouTube the hard way. And something, you know, you might go back and watch some of my old videos and go, hey, that's NUSensei back in the day. Anyway, thanks guys. It's been fun, and there'll be some more videos coming out very soon, and a few more live streams just before we hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what we'll do then, but you know, we'll cover these different chapters in my career, and we'll see how things turn out from there. Thanks everyone for watching. This is NUSensei. I'll see you all next time.